Hello candidates, I am going to dictate you a passage from Progressive Magazine. So please get ready for the dictation. The dictation will start after 15 seconds. Since we met 14 months ago, I have had the opportunity of visiting most of the states and the union territories. Early last month, I made an extensive tour of the far-flung northeastern region. During the tours, I met a large number of people from all walks of life and also came into close contact with several units of our valiant defense forces serving in inhospitable border areas at great personal sacrifice and hardship. These extensive tours over the length and breadth of the country have convinced me that our constitutional structure and the pillars that support it are perfectly sound. We can hopefully look forward to a bright and prosperous future provided we are able to maintain the unity and solidarity of the nation. For the first time in our history, the federal structure envisaged in our constitution has really come into its own. Ever since independence, one dominant party had provided the stability needed for our political system, and this was so till very recently. That party has now lost its unique position, and a number of other parties with different ideologies and programs have come up and have been able to get varying degrees of support in different parts of the country. In some of the states, the regional parties are in power. The overall political picture is thus extremely complex. It is a matter of satisfaction that the relations of all state governments with the central government are cordial and correct. This is essentially the democratic way of life, of mutual understanding and goodwill, of give and take, and of tolerance and capacity of work together in agreed programs for the national objectives. The role of the governor has to be correct in accordance with the constitution. Under the constitution, the states are in no way dependent on the union for the exercise of their legislative and executive authority in so far as it concerns the sphere assigned to the states and does not impinge on the sphere of authority of the union. The center and the states are joint partners in national development. In defining the role of the governors, the founding fathers of our constitution clearly had foreseen the possibility of different parties being in power in the states, and at the center the constituent assembly did consider the question whether there should be provision for an instrument of instructions to be issued to them. Sir, we have had the most stimulating and forthright debate in this House after I presented the Finance Bill. The honourable members have not only commented on the provisions of the bill, including the amendments that I have proposed and which have been accepted by the Lok Sabha, but they have also taken the opportunity of expressing their view on a wide-ranging spectrum of matters concerning the national economy. I heartily welcome a discussion of this sort. It helps us to understand the mood and the feelings of the House and also gives me an opportunity to respond and to react to those views. Sir, I must first of all with one point of criticism which was made by my honorable friends. They say that I have been pressurized and influenced by all sorts of lobbies outside the house, and I have adjusted and modified the finance bill as a result of that. Sir, I have great respect for this house and for parliament, and indeed it is my duty to take into consideration whether is said here. However, I do not think that it needs a very deep knowledge of democratic practice to understand that we are not the only persons who can give expression to the views of the people, the citizens, and the taxpayers. This might have been the philosophy of the previous government, which, without hesitation, suppressed popular expression and became a law unto itself. The present government's approach is different. It is here that the people have expressed their confidence in the present government, and we therefore consider it to be our first duty to listen to their grievances and their points of view, to try to understand their representations and give due attention to the problems which are brought to our notice by them, the members of the public. It was against this background that I had listened with great care and attention not only to the suggestions made in both the houses but also to the representations made by a very large number of citizens, associations, and responsible individuals, and I am not apologetic about what I have done. As stated by me in the Lok Sabha, I would like to say that it is the intention of this government to be fully responsive to public feeling. Sir, my friend has launched an emotional attitude against the actions of the present government. Sir, I have no intention of taking the lack of time in other things. Any person who has been associated with the administration of this country as my friend has himself been will certainly understand the complexities of our national problems.